Beats Kiki Kai Kai here on Kiwi. 15 past 8 now.
Yet another ace pick from Rialto, the home of fine film.
De kom alle frem fra mørket. De havde bare ventet på dagen.
Der er ikke noget, der er retfærdigt eller uretfærdigt mere. Der er krig. Vi finder dem, vi vil gå efter, og så går vi efter dem.
Forrædere. Danskere i tysk uniform.
It is the film review this morning. The film we're looking at is Flame and Citron. John Henderson with his thoughts this morning on this one. Good morning, John.
Good morning. This is the one to go and see if you know Danish or German. But don't worry, there are English subtitles as well.
Thank goodness, because I had no idea what was going on there, but I could see from the...
I think you picked up the drift of it from the violins.
The violins, and I was just watching the trailer, and it, to me, it looks like another bleak World War II drama.
Oh, you've given the plot away in one sentence.
That's it. That was the film review. Thanks very much, John Henderson.
And that's that for today. Yeah, it is a little cracker. It rolls in at 1.5 hours, so it's one of the shorter World War II movies I've seen in a while, given that they all seem to go out over 2 hours these days. It is the take on World War II resistance that Denmark hasn't had before.
Oh, Denmark now. Okay.
Yeah, 2 years ago, Black Books came out, which was about the Dutch resistance. So this is about the resistance in Denmark. Huge hit back in Denmark, this movie. Came out in 2008. I think it's the most expensive movie they've ever made, though I've seen quite a few movies lately that touts that out and says, the most expensive movie ever made in Mongolia or what have you.
Yeah.
So it's been very popular back home. It's about a family man and a dapper red-headed assassin who both end up getting involved in the resistance. They are killing Nazis by day and smuggling British pilots home by night via air. And they get increasingly disillusioned with what's going on as the war rolls out, because they're getting conflicting orders from up above. They're starting to realise guys that they thought were colleagues and allies are actually spies, and they become increasingly isolated.
I see. So, I mean, is it a story that you've heard before? I mean, or, you know, the fact that it's in Denmark obviously makes it, sets it in a different country, but, you know, have you heard this before? Is like the French resistance, you know, is there any different?
Well, I think it is different in that the resistance in different parts of Europe during the war had different agendas. I mean, the French were all about kicking the Germans out and trying to regain a little bit of pride because they'd rolled over so quickly. Whereas in Denmark, I think it's more about making sure that the Germans don't really get a foothold at all, but at the same time perhaps cutting a deal with the Germans.
Right.
And this comes across in the movie because Citron and Flame start to think, well, hold on, I thought we were all about getting rid of the Germans, but it looks like some of the guys are actually keen to team up with them.
Yeah.
So it is a slightly different take. At the same time, it is very bleak, and it's shot in that kind of grainy, pull out all the prime colours kind of footage way that we've seen in quite a few of these World War II movies lately. I don't know what they do to the film to make it go like that, but it was quite hard on the eyes after a while. Especially because Flame has literally got bright red hair.
Yeah.
Fanta pants.
Does it feel one-sided, the movie? You know, that it's only giving a view from one side?
Look,
yeah,
it does. In Black Books, you actually did have a little bit of compassion for the German captain, who she had fallen in love with, and he wasn't a bad guy. He was just just happened to have a bad job, which was rounding up the resistance and shooting them, but he didn't really want to. Whereas in this movie, it's all about the Germans are bad.
Right, they're about as dark as they can get.
Yeah, just sort of think Inglourious Bastards kind of Nazi types, and you'd be about right there. And so it is one-sided in that way. It does tell a story about the resistance in Denmark that I wasn't aware of, and I'm making a prediction. This may well be the last World War II movie we see for a while. So if you feel like doing the trifecta, or even the Quinella, you've pretty much seen every other WW2 movie that's come out, of which there have been a few in the last 2 years. This will probably put it to bed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't mean to seem or sound too jaded, because I mean, I'll normally lap up anything that's World War II era. But maybe even I've gotten to the point where there's a bit of an overdose going on. There's the follow up to Band of Brothers is coming on TV next year.
I didn't know that.
It's called The Pacific. So it's another Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks production.
Ah, that's interesting.
And it's bound to be amazing, but I'm just wondering if it's just a tad too late. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a basket full of props.
A basket full of props?
And they're just waiting
just
to use
unused
them again.
props? Yeah.
Yeah. They just want to roll out the tanks one more time, and yeah. Oh, that is interesting. Well, gosh, that'll be small screen. I don't know if we'll see another one on the big screen for a while, but that will be good. I'd love to see that when it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably on a Tuesday night. Yeah.
All right. Well, what will you give Flame and Citron? So Flame and Citron that was the name of a couple of resistance chaps. Is that right?
Correct, in Denmark, and they're fighting the good fight, and at the same time they're getting a little puzzled as to who's... Are you with me? They're not sure who's with them.
Okay.
Increasingly isolated. I'd be rolling it at, as far as a movie out of Denmark, it's a 4 out of 5. As far as a historical/war documentary drama, rolling in there at a 3.5. I mean, it's a safe watch. At 1.5 hours, it's quite a quick watch, which personally on a school night, I think is a good thing.
Okay, excellent. Thanks very much, John.
Thanks, Wammo.
Catch you next time.
Prøv at bare klare mig igennem, at du vil få mig til at forstå.
Sweet as. Check out rialto.co.nz for a little more.